As we get in today's live, I saw this and I just thought it was so funny. Um, my probably my favorite part is the toy graveyard under the refrigerator. John John will do things like he'll get a yardstick and he'll see how many things he can pull out of the toy graveyard. It's a lot, you know. And then the other thing, the stunning water feature, John actually taught Willow how to do it. He's sitting there with his head under the sink going, blah, 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 blah. So sorry if you're a dog lover. Sorry, man. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I love my crazy, crazy cat. And I see people are logging on. So that's fantastic. How is it? How are you people today? I'm hoping quite well. This is actually the last of what I'll be doing before Ricky starts doing his thing. And I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do next. But I want to do things where we learn together. That's very important to me. And I hope it is to you too. I'll show you. I just finished this little guy in my little Sue Spargo book. I learned this little crazy fraying thing here. It's also on my bunny tail and then on my little chipmunk tail right there. The one stitch I couldn't master was this kind of weaving thing that was supposed to be the nose. So I just did the chain stitch and I have it coming up again. I'm thinking maybe the thread I was using was too thick to do the kind of, to do the kind of weaving in this sort of small space like that. So hopefully I can do that. The next one I'm on to is, no. So this is number 4. What you basically do is you prepare everything by stitching it down and then you go and start filling in. And this is a Sue Spargo pattern, and I agree with Sue that I don't want to fuse these on because there's so much going on. I don't know where the other one is, that with stitches that even though it's the finest, finest, finest layer of fusey, if you use like, let's see, Applique Plus, it's still something there. Yeah. So today we will talk about finishing up our project, and I'm going to give you some different options. I did not, I don't want to say I screwed up on mine. I learned on mine, and I'm going to show you what I learned and probably what I would do different. But in the meantime, let's take a look at some projects. And I see Susan is here, and here is Susan's. She finished it up. And what is okay, I want to talk about that green outer thing, the green inner border, whatever you want to call it. It is very usual for me to do 2 inner borders out of 2 different fabrics. I don't want to say colors because you're both green. And typically I will make them asymmetrical, as you can see here, and I will put the lighter one on top. Now, she's all excited about entering it in a quilt show, and she has to put a sleeve on it. So, Susan, I'm talking for you right now. And when she finished it in wool, and I was actually shocked that her wool was so flat. Mine kind of buckled, and I'll show you mine in a little bit. And I wrote her, I said, "How did you get it so flat?" And basically the answer was dumb luck. I mean, I don't know, Susan, but here's Susan's conundrum. And that is she wants to put it in the show and she has to have a 4-inch sleeve. Okay, I get it. So when she puts a sleeve on it, it pushes out the top part and it will make it so it's not flat, which would drive her crazy and probably me too. So I suggested that she gets just some cotton fabric, loosely stitch it on the back to get their 4-inch sleeve and then remove it when she wants to display it in her home. But I know Susan was very in tune with getting this just right. and I think you got it just right. Also, let's not forget the little turtle down at the bottom. If you don't see that at first, it might jump out at you now. It's so wonderful. So, Susan, thank you for sending that to me. Okay, then here's Melody's. Now, Melody, she used I okay, that frog again. I mean, come on. And then the little house, the mushroom house. Put that fabric in the cotton fabric in the background, and she likes to think of it as a pond that Mr. Froggy might jump into. But what you need to know is that she backed it in cotton, and that border is also cotton. And in my Sue Spargo kit, which I'm sharing with you as I go along, she puts in cotton for the backing. So I'm kind of excited to see if that alleviates the sagging bagging problems that I had. And again, I'll show you what it is. Also, I just noticed this now, Melody. You've got yellow inner border on the top and green at the bottom. So two completely different colors. Bravo. And I will tell you how I did mine and how I screwed up when we get to that point. Okay, then Ruth, and this is not Ruth Oho, she did it out of cottons. And I think the ladybugs are the only wool that's in it. But here's the thing that I went, oh my gosh, is that denim jeans? It's for the background? And I wrote her and she said, "Yes." I don't know, Ruth, if you're a glutton for punishment. It looks spectacular, but that must have been a little bit of a witch to sew on. I don't know. If you're here, you can comment and say, "Yeah, it was," or "No, it was just fine." So the bottom line is with all of this, you can do whatever you want. Now with the Sue Spargo stuff that I'm doing, I'm pretty much sticking to the pattern because I am learning new stuff. She is pushing me to do things that I am not comfortable with, period. And that is really good, right? I also, oh, the other thing, one thing that I can't get right, and I don't know, is this circle stuff. And I can't remember what the name of the stitch is, but mine looks horrible. But I decided I don't care, just keep on going, just keep on going. When it all gets together, nobody's going to look at that spider and go, well, that looks like garbage. Not going to happen, right? So I want to show you something really cool before I talk about possibilities with our pieces. When I was at the Stitch and Post for the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show, if you are in Sisters at any time or driving through, and even it's a destination stop, the Stitch and Post in Sisters, Oregon. So when we were there, Gene Wells started it 50 years ago, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what battery is low? That makes me nervous. And I think we're okay. It looks like our battery's okay. Anyways, one side of it during the show was kind of put as a gallery. And on the left-hand side was Jean's work. And honestly, I don't know if these were for sale or not, and forgive me for that. But Jean's work has influenced me greatly, and there's an evolution because when she started, she was just doing really super easy things. I mean, super easy. And now when she not grew, could change as a quilt maker, that's when her artistic expression started coming out. Oh my gosh, I'm just seeing this. Look at the branch above, and there's two little birds there. I'm sure they're fake, but I just saw that now. And I remember when Jean said to me, I'm falling apart. When you get your kids through college is when you can start doing your own thing. Because up to that point, I was doing things for books, right? To help pay for the kids' college. Fortunately, I had the opportunity to do that. Now, her daughter, Valerie, is a photographer. She's an art person, and photography kind of kicked her off with the whole thing. So that's the sensibility, but she's coming into quilt making in her own way. And while I don't necessarily consider these quilts, these are killing me. It started as blank canvases of which she then block printed, stitched on, painted, etc. Now, as a side step here, I want you to look to the far right and see how it's mounted. It's mounted on some sort of wood frame, and there is no reason you cannot do that with any project you're doing. So I'm speaking to, yeah, our project. You can do that, and it's going to look great. These bottom ones were for sale, and the top one was not for sale. And I have to love that there are sunflowers in it, because when I think of Val, I think of sunflowers too. And these bottom ones, I hope I have a close-up of it. Kind of. There is, let's look at the bottom center one. There's all the printing and fabric manipulation, but then there's actually hand stitching going around that flower. And it just adds an element of wonderfulness to the whole thing. These were being sold, and they're like 6 by 6 or something, and they were like only like $60. This one was not for sale. Absolutely not for sale. I love her sensibilities, and I love that she has blended her craft, her art school, her art training with textiles. It was so funny because I was in there taking pictures, and this lady ran up, an employee, and we didn't know each other, and she goes, I said, "I'm taking it for this." And she goes, "Well, we just require that you stay it's at the stitching post." I said, "I'll say it's at the stitching post. Not an issue." So let's take, oh, I want to talk about this whole tsunami thing. Wow, I woke up to that. So I don't think really in California we've been hit with anything other than the tide like going up and down and up and down. Wow, that earthquake in Russia. Adair and I were talking, and I think it's like in the top 10 biggest earthquakes we've had that have been registered. So let me start with this. That is not how I did my project. If you have a interesting piece that you don't know what to do with, these were a couple pieces that I purchased from Ami Sims when she was doing the Alzheimer's project. Her mom passed of Alzheimer's, and these were called they had to fit in a okay, don't stop falling. These things had to fit in a priority envelope, and then you could purchase them. So think of the size of a priority envelope, all right? This is a beautiful piece, absolutely beautiful, but I honestly think that by mounting it on this black, and I'm talking about our wool projects, it steps it up a little bit, all right? And then what I did was I went to, gosh, I think it was Richards that isn't even, um, which isn't even available anymore. But I went there, bought this canvas, all right, and then I painted it with a flat back. Back this morning I couldn't find them. It's like, where are they? This is ridiculous. Painted it, and then I don't know if you can see this. I sewed it on the back. I don't know if you can see that string there. Yeah. And all of a sudden, what is a darling piece becomes more important. Now, when I found it, I went, "Oh my gosh, I got to go back and touch this up because life has not been kind to the frame." Okay, here's another crazy little piece that I mean, crazy. And here's my hand. So this shows you how big it is. And this woman with her little boobies and all that, and the rustic nature of it, the folk art aesthetic of the whole thing. I love this. Again, it's been mounted, and it makes it that much more important. So let's say I was only going to do one of these, okay? I would somehow finish the edge. And if you mount it, let's not look at this, but you mount it on black, it's beautiful. And it's a lovely way to present something. So let me get well, no, let's talk about the gnome one first, okay? The gnome one, okay, how can I do this so you can see it? with these scalloped edges, I think would be fabulous on black. Fabulous. Right now, it's just hanging in my sewing room. I had to piece together something for the back, and I found this lace with the pearls on it. There's no batting in this. I don't find it necessary. And this one didn't give me fits like the neck, like this project, which gave me fits. So let's take a look at that. And this is what I was asking Susan. It was like, maybe if I can go back farther. How come mine got all poochy in here? So what I ended up doing, well, the first thing I did, I think, which is stupid, is, well, okay, Alex, don't talk bad about yourself. Perhaps, no, I had to add this on. Okay, so let's talk about that. How did I do that? Up here's the lighter green, down here's the darker green. All right. And I knew I wanted it to be like a 1/4 inch, or maybe it's more than that. Let me grab a ruler for grins. 1/2 inch. I knew I wanted it to be a 1/2 inch. So what I did was I cut strips that were 1 inch, okay, and then I sewed the background to it. I should have cut strips that were much bigger, get it sewn on, and then trim it to that 1/2 inch. I don't know what I was thinking doing doing it that way, doing it like, okay. I might have even done 3/4 and just, what did I do? Can I feel it? Yeah, no, I think I did 1 inch, okay? I could have done it and had it hang out a whole lot more and then just trim it. I don't know why I didn't do that. Okay, then this is where you're gonna hate me. I did chain stitch around. Let me get this down. Okay, I did chain stitch, and then I went and did bullion all the way around. What was I thinking? Okay, this is before I added the backing. What I did, oh, sorry guys. And again, this next time I'm going to try cotton. I put the backing on. Actually, you can see where I did some stitching. So I must have done that before I bound it. And then I had left the top, this part, bigger, and I could bring it around and then baste it down and then, or stitch it down just like how you stitch down a binding. And then there you go. There's that. But again, it got all poochy. So I decided, you can see here the quilting. I decided to quilt it to bring down the pooch. Well, I wonder if I could quilt my tummy and bring down the pooch. I don't know. And I used like a gray thread, something that really didn't show, you know. The quilting is not important on this piece. It's, huh? Oh, it's unfocused. Okay. The quilting is not the important thing, people, on this for me. It is to adhere it, to get the poochiness down, and there you go. I don't know what I'm gonna do with I have both of these just hanging in my studio, and they make me smile, to tell you the truth. So you can do that. You can also, people, you could also make a pillow out of it. But my problem with the pillow is that I think it's gonna get a lot of abuse. And you know, and I know how much work it has gone into this. A lot of work. So for me, I would rather display it as art. Okay. Um, oh my gosh, Kathy. Okay, I have 3 size black canvas frames and use alien tape to attach projects. Okay, alien tape. I have some of that. Thank you. If you don't know what that is, go to Amazon, and it is the it's, what would you say, Kathy? It's maybe about an 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe, or 16th of, maybe a 16th of an inch thick. And you peel off one side and the other side's sticky, and it will stick anything to anything, all right? The people that told me about it, they said they actually this is how they stick their phone to the dashboard of their car. They just use alien tape. So, yeah, alien tape is great. It was, Bernie who told me about it, and I was like, the machine guy, and I'm like, "I gotta buy some of this stuff." So, alright, let's see. Okay. Is the black wool filled? Is the black wool filled? I would say the back is wool. Talk about wool filled or felt. I'm preparing projects for step outs for when we're going to be taping at the end of August. Oh, the black on the frame. That's what John's saying, Susan. No, I don't think so. John, that's what John thinks you're talking about. Are you talking about this? Are you talking about this kiddo? It's painted. Yeah, it's painted. If that's what that's what anyways, John's asking. It's painted. But why, what? You could put that there. But I don't know. There's just something about this that makes it more museum quality. So, okay. I'm looking here. Carolyn, hello. On my third Seuss Bargo bee, I'm gonna finally do those circle stitches. You know what I'm talking about. They're horrible. And I call my girlfriend Robin, and she goes, "Oh no, they just look like crap." And I go, "Yeah, they do." Sue's a pro. Yes, no, yeah, Susan, you could do that. That's gonna cost you a lot of money if you were to put wool instead of just paint it, right? That's gonna cost money because this stuff is not cheap. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Okay, so Kathy says alien tape is not glue. It has microscopic suction tape, so it's easily removed. Okay, now. Okay. So I can't give you a definitive answer on what to do with your piece, and I know that's kind of cheesy of me, but I don't know. It's just also new to me. Again, I'm going to do cotton next time because that's what Sue put in the kit. And I'm going to be real curious if it behaves like that. Oh, it's really cute. My granddaughter, who's 10, almost 11, she wants to be a vet when she grows up. In fact, she went to a summer camp where they go work in a vet office for a week, and she came out just fired up. And I had her look at the little blocks, and I said, "Listen, girl," because she's a lot like me, like, it's in there, but to try and grab it's a whole nother thing. And I said, when you're a vet, I said, you will take this piece and you will hang it in your office. It is yours. And she liked that. From here in Conwell, your spider looks just fine. Ellen, it's not. Susan's asking, do you think wool felt added stiffness to it? When you're saying wool felt, I don't know what you're saying, Susan. I will show you something though. In preparing my step out, my step outs for taping, this is like wool from Joann's that no longer exists. It is not 100% wool. I'm confident. There's poly in it and it is stiff. I like I like the pure wool better, but for a step out that I'm going to throw in the garbage can, you know, I'll just use that. I don't wanna cut into my $1,000,000 Sue Spargo stuff. Okay, what did Kathy say? Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so here's what's coming up. Ricky's taking over, and just for the Odette project, okay? And I got some really great news about that. I thought he was okay, here's the Odette project right here, so you know what we're talking about. I thought he was starting on Monday because I thought Monday was the first. No, he's starting this Friday on the first. Oh, but what about Barbara Black? Because you know how she guides us every month with our block of the month at the quilt show. and she said she didn't need to do it. What this month is fairly redundant and you can do it without her. So Ricky's going to start this Friday and then he will pick it up on Monday. And the reason he didn't start it on Monday and then pick it up the next Monday was because he felt there was too much space in between those two things. So we do have kits available. We have, I think this is the one I would do. And I just love that blue. I showed you the fabric the other day. It's just beautiful. And then this one, but this is tough too because the fabrics in person are pretty kick butt wonderful. But here's the neat thing. If you make the Odette quilt, you do not have to buy a kit from us, but it has to be the Odette quilt, all right? And we do have patterns available that you can get from the quiltshow.com store. I don't know how it's exactly going to work, and Ricky will tell you, but one of you, if you put your name in the pot, Ricky will quilt it for you. And he's going to quilt it using the designs that were designed to quilt this quilt. Yeah. So, no, he's not going to quilt your grandma's flower garden that's 90 by 90. He will do your Odette quilt. I thought this was brilliant and kind of fun that we can all play together. And so he will do that and just follow the instructions. Make sure you are on our newsletter at a minimum, if not a member of the quiltshow.com, which is under $50 a year. So, yeah, I think we're good here. All right. Wait a minute. What'd you just say, Susan School? Do you think wool felt added stiffness to it? If it's this stuff you're talking about, yeah, it's much stiffer than, say, the Sue Spargo stuff. And you're right. This stuff is not fraying. Look at that. It is not fraying. It'd be like saying, well, what's the difference between flannel and batik? They're just different beasts, completely different beasts. And we all have our preferences. I love the hand dyes with Sue Spargo. Okay. What is the measurement of the Odette quilt? It's not big. Okay. What? Oh, John's looking right now. It's not big. It's completely doable. What is it, John? Like 50 by 50 or something? It's like 46 by 46. Oh, they're right here. He's looking. I brought him in here in case somebody asked.
48 by 48.
48 by 48, just under 50. So it's perfect for a lap quilt, wall hanging. I could see the blue one being hung in my house in January, and I could see the autumn one being hung in my house this autumn. Yeah, so they're fun, and I believe in the pattern there's extra sets too, sets like how you set things where you can make it bigger, smaller, and all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, please welcome Ricky on Friday, and I will be back in September. I don't know what we're going to do next. I really don't. I have to think hard about it. If you missed Monday's interview, I commission you to go watch it. It was absolutely phenomenal. I don't want to say one of my favorite interviews ever, so I won't. I won't. And it's about what's going on in Japan. And oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay. So, um, I so appreciate you guys. I can't believe I have a month off. I'm really going to miss you like crazy. And I also know mid-September, I'm going to a retreat. So, I so appreciate you. I send you love, hearts, and all that good stuff. And remember, you can contact me at alexandrsn@gmail. And in fact, I'm mailing out a Bernina coupon today. Jane, you ordered her book. Oh, yeah, straight up. I mean, apparently on Amazon. They're the number 1 book right now in quilting. It's a killer. It's a killer. Okay. Yeah, Teresa Duryea Wang interview. Please watch it. Please send it to your friends. It is a treasure. It's an international treasure. Okay. Bye-bye, people. Thank you so much for spending your